Stay cool, buddy. Stay healthy. Stay in one piece.
Sentimental favorite. You saw him, number 11, Larry Ward, returning to his native area in the stadium that he won his lone Supercross victory.
Boy, what a night that was back in 1990. They about blew the concrete roof off this place when Larry Ward won in the Kingdome.
Okay, we're set. Looking behind Ward. We get the dirt spit in our face. Lamson pulls out of the middle. Jeremy alongside one of his best starts of the year. Jeremy McGrath, the whole shot.
Hey, you get that Yamaha Michael Craig on the sidelines, and a Honda can win the race to the first turn. Jeremy's going for it. He wants the win. He wants the record. He wants the championship. He wants the whole enchilada.
You're right, Dave. It's only the third race of the year. Yamaha hasn't gotten the whole shot. It's Jeremy's second of the season. Lamson behind him. And then Denny Stevenson, a good start.
It's a great start for Stevenson. He's right up there in the middle of the fast guys. The pressure will be on him. Kedrowski, number 3, knows that to keep his championship alive, he's got to get up there and race with Jeremy. The last couple of races, he's run him down, and it looks like he's stuck with that task again tonight.
Kedrowski, number 3, Emig, number 6, behind Kedrowski, and then Larry Ward in good position as well.
And no sign of Mike LaRocco. Here he is. What is that, 7th, 8th? Another bad start for LaRocco. Another catch-up night for him. Whoa, Emig's off the road.
That gives LaRocco the opportunity to slip in front of Emig. Jimmy Button, 34, and he wants to show the big guys what he's all about.
Jimmy's giving that thing a good ride, too. Number 34 up inside the top 10. If he just follows LaRocco, he can learn some things. He said, hey, I didn't come to follow people. I came to pass people.
A good wheel-to-wheel battle. Jimmy Button, number 34, and Mike LaRocco, number 7. LaRocco probably thinking, hey, kid, get back to the 125s.
Yeah, you saw there. Button had a notion to stuff it on the inside, and I think that he said, wait a minute, this is LaRocco. I'm not going to stuff LaRocco.
Mike LaRocco, in case you tuned in late, had a crash in the qualifying heat. He was kind of lucky, I think, to get up unscathed physically. Ward putting the pressure on Stevenson as we go back to LaRocco and Button in the whoops.
Oh, we talked about the need for Kedrowski to get up there and race with the leader, Jeremy McGrath. Same story for LaRocco. Remember, he was only 1 point behind Kedrowski in the standings. He's got to get to the front to keep alive his title hopes.
Lamson in second. Jeremy McGrath about a 2-second lead. Kedrowski 3rd. Stevenson 4th. And Ward in 5th place now.
Stevenson's making a lot of mistakes. Ward is going to try to capitalize on this one. But I give Denny credit. When you run in the top 5 in this league, you're in very fast company. He needs to settle down, smooth out, hang on to positions. He could run top 5 tonight.
Ward looking very sharp and smooth on this track. A hometown hero would love to take his second Supercross victory out of this stadium.
Well, the fans really remember him around here, even though he now lives in South Carolina. He's still a homeboy to the folks in Seattle.
Mike LaRocco's turn to challenge Denny Stevenson now.
This will be tough for Stevenson. This will be the real test. As we said, he's been making some mistakes. Once he knows it's LaRocco back there, he'll be a bit intimidated by that. LaRocco's a little like Dale Earnhardt. He's the kind of guy that when you see him in your mirrors, you think, gee, I wonder what's going to happen next.
Ward, Stevenson, LaRocco, and Jimmy Button, number 34.
This is for 5th, 6th, and 7th. I think that's a credit to Button and also to Stevenson.
Jeremy McGrath with a good lead, but he's been unable to really pull away, and we'll be back with more in a moment. 250 main in the Seattle Kingdome. Our leader, Jeremy McGrath. He might have been inspired by his teammate Doug Henry in that qualifying heat.
Now, Henry certainly got him pumped up. McGrath doesn't want to see that happen again. Kedrowski is the guy who's charging. He is trying to reel in the leader, but he's still got traffic to deal with.
Lamson, number 4. Kedrowski, number 3, in 2nd and 3rd. Ward has moved up to 4th. Denny Stevenson has gone off the track, meanwhile, taking some banners with him as Kedrowski breezes by the hay bale there.
He's using up every bit of the racetrack, isn't he, Art? We ought to make the point, too, that Doug Henry, who beat McGrath in that heat race, got tangled up in the first turn and started 20th. What a bummer after having that great moment of glory.
He had a lot of problems trying to get his bike restarted back in the race after his complications. LaRocco in the hunt for 4th behind Larry Ward as we go back to Kedrowski versus Lamson.
Kedrowski's got to get around Lamson, or this championship is history. And Steve's doing a good job. You know, again, he's carrying the responsibility with Jeff Stanton on the sidelines, and he's risen to the occasion here. Kedrowski can't get around him.
Lamson has been consistent this year, but has had some mixed results, some bad luck, and some crashes that have prevented him from moving up the points ladder.
Good move there. He was offline a little bit, brought it back down, got the traction before. Kedrowski held on to the spot. Who passed? Maybe? I don't think so.
Ward got it right back again. That's a great battle there. LaRocco finally gets by Ward, seals it off, and moves into fourth.
When Ward had LaRocco on the outside, he didn't let off. He held his line into the corner. Once LaRocco got the inside, Ward had no choice but surrender.
Kedrowski getting close, looking for an opportunity now versus Lamson. You see Denny Stevenson putt-putting along there after going off the track.
That's too bad. I thought Stevenson could run top 5 tonight. He just couldn't quite keep it together. Now Kedrowski's got to force the issue. He's got to put the pressure on. He's out of time.
Whoop section. 2 different lines. You can see this. Kedrowski, a little bit of trouble. Could not gain some time coming out of the whoops especially.
The trick of that section is to be able to cut across from one line to the other. You can make a pass at the end of that straightaway, right at the entrance to the corner, if you can change your line and go from one groove to the other. But
whoa, Lamson goes wide. Kedrowski cuts to the inside. It's wheel to wheel now. Let's see who comes out of this whoop section. That's just what you said, Dave. He cut across there to seal him off.
Kedrowski feeling the pressure. He had to get it done because with every lap, McGrath is getting further away. You don't want to be parked behind his teammate there. You got to get around Lamson, get going to the front.
And out in front, Jeremy McGrath, who's already set all kinds of records. His family looking on, of course, hoping he can nail down his second consecutive championship here tonight.
Dad's got the stopwatch running in his head, measuring the interval there, Art. Back to the second place man, Kedrowski, and that interval spells championship. Look out, here comes LaRocco.
LaRocco taking on Steve Lamson next. He wants third. And out of the whoops, let's see if he can do it with the speed. Lamson tried to cut him off. Some great racing. LaRocco is quick, but Lamson is a tremendous competitor.
Handlebar to handlebar, great racing in Supercross, a great race track when you get through lines like that. LaRocco had the best one.
LaRocco moves into third behind Kedrowski. Out in front, Jeremy McGrath. He hasn't lost many leads this year. We'll be back with more from the Kingdome in a moment. McGrath, the leader, but Kedrowski is cutting off a second per lap. Let's go down and listen to his mechanic, Skip Norfolk, with Jerry.
We got about 6 more laps to go, and we got a championship under our belt. You just rode up pace.
Yeah, Jeremy got into lappers. I thought he rode a little conservative. Mike's letting it all hang out. He's picking up time on him. We got some open ground now. Hopefully Jeremy can get his race back going again, and we got 5 laps to go.
It ain't over till it's over, but I see a little smile in there.
Well, we got 5 laps. He won't let what happened a week ago happen again.
All right.
Well, it looks like the stage is being set for another last week.
Last week, of course, was Dallas when Kedrowski caught McGrath from behind and they crashed together on the last turn of the last lap. That's what he doesn't want to see happen again.
We've got word from the pits, Dave, that Ward's having problems with the rear tire. It's going flat or is flat.
Looks like it could. They put extra rim locks on the tires. There's just a lot of junk in the racetrack. Rocks and things that are coming up to the surface. Everybody anticipated tire problems, and apparently Ward has encountered one.
Ward holding on to fifth as Jeremy McGrath out in front, going by the mechanics area right now. He's slowed down a bit, or Kedrowski has just simply picked it up because Kedrowski's been knocking a second or a second and a half off every lap.
He's reeling him in very impressively. Kedrowski has a rhythm, and this is the second week in a row that we have not seen Jeremy up the ante. A lot of people believe it's harder to lead a race than it is to run second because the leader has to define the pace. And maybe you look for tiny little things in his incredible season of McGrath's to criticize, but maybe that's one of them. He doesn't hold the pace up. Kedrowski, on the other hand, has been charging since Orlando. He got a bad start in the very first race of the year, and he's been running wide open ever since.
He's closed the gap now to only 3 seconds and shaves it off with every lap. Good smooth riding by Kedrowski. Here's Jeremy McGrath. Jeremy, a little bit short.
He's got a flat tire.
That's right. He pointed down to the rear tire. It is getting flat. Kedrowski's got his shot at it.
Well, this could turn the championship right here. McGrath had the opportunity to clinch it. All he had to do was finish in front of Kedrowski. I don't see how in the world he can do that with a flat sack.
Mike Kedrowski holding on by his fingertips right now as far as the points race is concerned. And he makes the easy move on Jeremy McGrath. McGrath, all he can do is try to stay upright right now.
Yeah, he's not worried about Kedrowski. He knows he can't beat Kedrowski with a flat tire. He just wants to keep the motorcycle upright. You see the disappointment in the Honda cam.
Well, stranger things have happened as LaRocco now tries to get by Jeremy.
Yeah, LaRocco should do this pretty easily. There it is. He triples. Jeremy can't do the triple now because of the flat tire. So that'll drop McGrath to third. And precisely what the Kawasaki needed, the Kawasaki team needed to have happen, has happened. Kedrowski beats McGrath, and LaRocco beats McGrath, and that extends the championship for another week.
Kedrowski now just has to avoid all the rocks in this final lap.
Yeah, you know, you have to think, you mentioned during the break, Art, about Damon Bradshaw losing the championship a couple of years ago under similar circumstances. McGrath wanted to clinch tonight because there are 2 outdoor nationals between now and the next round of the Supercross. He wanted to get it over with because what happened to Damon Bradshaw a couple of years ago was he went to one of those nationals and got hurt and ended up losing the championship to Jeff Stanton. There's always that risk until those points are put away.
Kedrowski with 4 second places on the year, the 1 win in Daytona, to move back into second place in the point standings behind Jeremy McGrath with this victory.
Yep, making 2 wins on the year after this one. You know, this guy hadn't won very many Supercross races, but he sure is consistent.
It's got to be very disappointing for number 1, Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah, you know, he tends to take things as they fall, though. I don't think he'll let this flat tire bum him out too much. He certainly wanted to win the race. I'll tell you what I think he's disappointed about is that record got away tonight. He can now tie the record, but he can't break the record. And regardless of what he told Jerry earlier, I think that's a big disappointment for him.
And I think you're right, Dave. I think he wanted that record.